And if the stars fall from the skies, the sun goes dark to endless night. Stay in my arms, I'll make it right. Just close your eyes. Yeah, we got tonight.
Hello.
For the Love of Craze with Rick H. We got tonight. That's me and Craze's new theme song.
Excuse me, time.
Why are they
I'm
here?
gonna say this in the kindest way possible, and I'm gonna say it kindly and respectfully because you're the boss. And a little
Welcome.
bit, why are you doing the intro of my show?
This is my show. This is me and Craze show. So, For the Love of Craze and Rick H at the bottom. Craze, how you been,
Somebody
man?
went to Puerto Rico and got super bold.
Yo, the disrespect is real right now.
Real.
Why are y'all on here? Are you guys gonna fire us publicly or something? Like what's happening
right now? No.
This is how we're gonna get fired on For the Love of Jaylah publicly. The Rick H show. They just dropped us like that. That's okay, cool. Well, guys, welcome. For the Love of Jaylah. We're on another episode. The real show, you know. Ain't nobody come here to see the Rick H. Anyways, no, but seriously, guys, welcome to another episode 7. It's your girl Jaylah.
I'm Gigi Rivera. Hi, guys.
And once again, we are in separate rooms because me and Gigi can't seem to figure out how to stay in one spot for more than a week.
Shout out to my bestie Andy. I literally ran here. I needed a home and a laptop to do the podcast from. So every episode is a different wall. It's a different background, but we here respectfully.
Oh man, no, we're kicking off a great show. Gigi is remote this week. She's in the Northeast right now, to say the least. I have been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but we will know about that. We will know about that as soon as we start El Chequeo.
Yes. Okay, Jay.
We got
our producer just don't care about us today.
The problem is that, you know, I think one of the producers is using our producer who we love so very much, Craze Boogie. Craze is a little under the weather, so we've been like babying him for a couple days, just making sure he heals, puts extra Vicks on his chest. You know, it's not COVID, y'all, so that's good. That's the good news. The bad news is that when typically Craze can't do something, we get stuck with Rick. So Craze, please get better. Like yesterday.
ASAP. Craze.
We're gonna go ahead and do a chequeo right now. I'm gonna kick it off to Gigi. I'm gonna let you kick off a chequeo this week. What are your picks and peaks of the week? The good, the bad, the ugly, the ups and downs.
Okay, so my peak of the week was going to Virginia Beach with my family. I met with my mom, my brother, and my aunt and my little cousins. Yeah, it was so much fun. I like low-key want to move there now. But it was mad fun. We did a bunch of touristy things. So yeah, Gigi's peak, Virginia Beach with the fam. Yeah, it was just super nice to kind of get away and explore.
It was so beautiful. Like all the pictures you were posting, like so much greenery and beautiful, like
yeah, it was so cool.
Like there were no palm trees, but you had like some real pretty like flowers.
Yeah, we went to a botanical garden and it was just so cute. So that was my peak, and then I drove back from Virginia to Jersey, so I'm home for the week. And surprisingly, I don't do well in car rides, but it was surprisingly pretty good. It was a pretty fun trip with the family. So that was my peak. And then my pit was I don't think I had a pit, honestly. I had a pretty good week. Oh, I would say my pit was what was my pit?
I was gonna say your pit for me was that drive from Virginia to Jersey.
No, I swear it was actually fun. I guess my pit was I was feeling a little under the weather. Yo, something has to be going on because my homegirl is sick. Crazy sick. You were, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I spent like 1 or 2 days feeling a little under the weather. I would say that's pretty much about it. It's just like, I don't know, like a sore throat que no se me quita.
Listen, it's in the air, bro. You see them planes saying, "Will you marry me?" Yeah, right. It's saying,
Benny Banks said, "Damn, this show." Wait, run that back, because Benny Banks is being real disrespectful. Damn, this show's still going on. Congrats to Gigi and Jaylah for not getting canceled. First of all, only God can cancel us. So,
facts, you heard? Yo, shout out to my Funko Pop NYC. Saluditos.
COVID, guys, it's not COVID.
The Don is in the building. Yeah, it's not COVID. I already said this, guys. I'm gonna protect Craze at all costs. And my Craze Boogie and I had real long conversations. I already told him what medicines and toallitas and the abuelita tale, what we gotta do to take care of that. But we made sure it wasn't COVID because yeah, only God, Craze, and
so what about
shut up, Benny?
What about you? What were your highs and lows?
I actually, my highs were that I got to spend an amazing weekend with my daughter.
Yeah,
my friends here from New York, so we had a lot of family time. Like her girls came, we had a sleepover, and then we went to a water park. So just, I think, especially now that I've been doing so much traveling and things are kind of getting back to normal and I'm getting busier and busier as time goes.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got really used to being with her at all times. So, like it was such a peak to like have her, a weekend where I didn't have too much to do. And it was just all about her and what was going to make us happy and have that time together. And I got to do it with my friends and their kids, and they had a blast. They weren't fighting like crazy. So it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then I also got to spend time with my brother and his girlfriend and their dog parents. So their doggy Bailey, which Bella loves, especially since our Romeo passed away. So to have some family time was really, really great. I hadn't seen my brother like that, like one-on-one without it being at a family thing or, work thing or just us. So it was beautiful to spend that time with him. Shout out to my brother. I love you. And then the low of my week, honestly, might have to be all this running around and knowing that I got to leave again, flying out to Cali tomorrow.
You famous.
I'm not famous. Bitch got to work though. These bills ain't stopping, but unemployment.
Heard you.
But no, realistically, like things are getting back and they're getting busy. So I think for me, just knowing that I got to pack again, I got to leave my daughter ready. I got to, it's not like, I could just pack my maleta and leave anymore. Now I have to pre-prep. I have to but shut up. I cannot with the comments right now. But yeah, so I got to get her prepped, get her ready. She still has school, like times and synchronizing things. So I think for me, it just gets a little stressful and overwhelming, even though it kind of puts that extra battery charge in me. But, like supermarket shopping and this and folding clothes and doing laundry and packing my stuff and getting her school stuff ready. And it's just like, this is not as much fun as it used to be when I used to be like, I'm going to travel for work. The worst thing I'd complain about was maybe, like, damn, I got to pack or I got to do that one batch of laundry because I want that piece. Now it's like her laundry, my laundry, clothes, food, supermarket, sandwich, this, that. And I'm like, ah!
And this is why yours truly does not have any kids.
And this is why I am walking like birth control for people. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. I love my daughter to death. Everybody knows I love Lela, but yeah. And then she want to act crazy in front of public. Oh no. It was one of those days.
Well, I'm excited for today's show. We have our awesome guest returning because last week's episode was just too good. We couldn't even like get to what we wanted to get to because it was just so much to discuss, man. So much.
So we have our special guests, Kay and Somaya Reece. For you guys that did miss last week's episode, a quick little recap. Hey, speaking of the devil themselves, ladies and gentlemen, here for part 2, talking more about love and about everything. Somaya and Kay, thank you guys for coming back.
Thank you for having us.
By the way, guys, I want you to know that the last show and our last conversation was so good. We now have a group chat called the Golden Girl.
That's right. She's the tall one. This one named it. I was like, who named this chat that?
We're 4 women, different views coming together, and we're just talking shit. So who cares?
That's
you
right.
know? They're hilarious. I love it.
The
The Golden
we're
Girls.
the Latina Golden Girls. You're Latina by association, so it goes.
Gang, gang.
We're doing it para la cultura, like they say.
Exactamente.
Right.
How are you? How are you, ladies?
We're doing
We
good.
are good.
You guys literally came in right on time because we're doing el chequeo. So we want to know highs and lows of the week. Come on, ladies.
High is I am off today.
Woo!
Tuesday. We have been talking about this for a while now, and I decided that every Tuesday, my company would close as a mental health day off for me and my staff, so that everybody can kind of
love that.
You know, everybody. You know, when you're getting off of a weekend, Mondays are always such a
Crazy day. Oh my
it's
God.
either a really Monday rise and grind, or some people are still kind of dealing with what they dealt with over the weekend. So I thought that it would make sense to do a mental health day off for Tuesday. So if you need to regroup, recharge, then you can come back at your fullest potential and kill it at my company. So I'm enjoying the day off.
I love that, Somaya. Girl, I'm just gonna take that approach whenever I own a business. I love that.
I'm not mad at a Tuesday day off. It's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's for the love of Jaylah Day. Listen, I wouldn't be mad at that either.
I'm here for it.
What's up? You know what's funny is that because California is so big on Taco Tuesday. I didn't even think about that, and then we were talking about it. I was like, wait a minute, and it's going to be Taco Tuesdays. Oh, man, this is a good thing, or I don't know.
Listen,
this guy's going to be lit.
The only thing I'm a little upset about is that I've been running around all day getting ready to go to Cali, and I didn't get to have my taco yet, so I got to wait till after the show. So when we have our Golden Girl talk later, I'm going to be like, with the taco in my face, like a whole loca.
Oh, man. Kay, what was your high?
Those are my highs, and I'm sorry. And then lows, there hasn't been one so far from last week. So I'm sorry, but I was at the high low. They asked me high or low.
Well, I was gonna do both of y'all highs and then both of y'all lows, but okay. Somaya said I'm gonna finish.
Damn, do I have apologize?
Excuse me.
Really great
today should be your high thing.
Props to mental awareness. Absolutely.
Well, that's right.
Okay, I got a good one. So, I actually had a reading earlier. So, for those that don't know, I do numerology readings. So, I focus on the numbers in their name, and I go into detail about how to make the reader a better person. So, I had a reading at I don't know, I think 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and I was a little nervous because sometimes I need to make sure I'm ready for it. And I still get nervous. I've been reading people for, oh my God, almost a decade now. And I'm still nervous. So I don't know. I feel like this person, I don't know. I was getting so many mixed feelings. And then I went through the reading and everything I was nervous about just went out the window, and it was great. And
awesome.
it so happened to be the person was in a really dark place. So she was like, yo, I'm going to be honest. I really felt at a low last weekend.
Wow.
And something told me to call you and email you and make sure that we're still doing the reading. I was like, hell yeah, we're still doing the reading. Because I booked her a month and a half ago. But sometimes people forget and their life happens and I got to keep on them. So in my head, I was focused on it, and she must have been going through something while I was so anxiety driven because my focus was on her energy. So the high is that it came out good, and it wasn't as bad as I thought, and I made somebody's day. So that's all that matters.
I love it.
That's lit.
That's beautiful. It's crazy because what people don't understand about readings and stuff like that, and it's something that I've been learning around along the way.
Yeah.
Most of those people are truly empaths. So just that alone is energy draining. And then just even doing the readings on its own and giving and feeding and taking and receiving you know, what those people are going through. Like, that's a lot. Like, people, like, I now understand at a different rate and level, because if I feel drained after certain things and situations, after now being aware and, you know, like, you know, being open to those things, and now I understand, like, okay, these certain situations have put me in this place that I'm not okay with, you know?
This is you guys
Hey!
You know?
Multitasking. This is how we multitask. But it's a
So I can only do like 2 readings a week. Like after that, and I used to do it a lot because I was like, oh, the money, the people, fuck it. I'm just gonna just do as many as I physically can. But I was getting sick. Like I was getting runny nose. I was getting like chest pains. I was getting like irritated. I didn't have time to cleanse in between. So 2 is good for me a week. 2, 3 max, but 2 is like perfect. You know?
I want to ask you a little bit about what you do, because I know you work with crystals and all of that. Like what exact, can you explain to the people and me, like how is a crystal powerful? I get it, it's coming from, you know, earth, mother nature, but I've heard that you can like pray to these crystals, that they can heal you. But then what about God? Isn't that God's purpose or God's, you know, job? So is there like competition here? Like, what's the tea on these crystals?
Crystals are tools.
And they came from God.
Obviously, they're made from the earth. So obviously, it's not like some aliens came and made them. But
well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I had my phase where I was super into crystals. I got like a tiger's eye and like one to put under my pillow. I had my phase, but I feel like crystals, it's a topic that you need to dive into and like really, really do your research. If not, it's like a waste of time and a waste of money. So I feel like I was so fascinated and interested that I just bought whatever sounded good, but I don't think I followed through the way I guess you're supposed to, because I don't know if they did anything for me. And you know, I believe in God, so I'll pray, I'll whatever, I have my conversations with God, but I don't know if the crystals really did anything. So I want you to tell me, like, what is it about these crystals? How do they work?
I'm going to give you a metaphor, I guess. So if you want to open a beer, you need a can opener, right? The goal is to get the beer open. So you need a bottle opener, right? So crystal in that sense is a tool in that sense of a goal of getting to a higher energy. So there's so many different type of metaphysical practices out there. I focus on numbers because I'm really good at math and I'm just big at reading vibrational things and numbers. But the number one thing is that crystals are a tool between the energy of the universe, the energy within the crystal itself, because it's taken it thousands of years to build, especially like amethyst, quartz, rose, take thousands of years to build between water and erosion and soil and being pressurized under, you know, all these rocks and caves and mountains and stuff. Like all these tools are readily available, and unfortunately it became commercial. I'm not gonna say unfortunately, but it became commercialized and now it looks like a fad, but it's still something you don't fuck around with. You don't fuck around with crystals if you don't know what you're doing. Now, the one thing I'm talking about on a deep level. Now, if you want to, let's say, based on your sign, based on the issues you're having, different stones and crystals will work on different chakras and different points of your body, vibrate and tune better. So that's basically the broad perspective of it.
Well, I will say personally, you know, I think I was in a space where Gigi was at some point.
Yeah.
Whereas like people would give me like, oh, here's a rose quartz. Like I know I've been gifting like a rose quartz heart, like polished and like, you know, different things, or like things that'll catch my own eye. Because I think even as a little kid, I remember even going to like Universal and those places where they had like all of the crystals and all the stones, and you would pick the ones, and like I would always just like weirdly like gravitate towards those things. So, but I remember, I think the first time I ever had that real like clarity moment where like, oh my God, this shit's crazy, was my last trip to Vegas. My last trip to Vegas, I went for my birthday with my homegirl, and then something happened where like my flights, everything was just discombobulated. I didn't have to leave until the next morning. And obviously as a mom, that really hits home, because it's like, okay, damn, now I got to figure out my childcare, like this, like now I'm bumping everything a whole nother day. So I go, especially to Latina mom mode, I go into panic mode. So And you know, obviously I suffer, you know, and I'm very open that I suffer from anxiety, panic attacks. And as I've gotten older, as different trauma has arisen, as the healing process has gone through, you know, I am more aware of what triggers these things and when they're coming. And when I'm like, okay, now this is okay. Now I'm gonna spiral. Like, okay, this is oh my god. And I remember my homegirl, her daughter she's the one who gave me this crystal, and this is one of the calming crystals, and I wear it constantly because she knows. She's like, Mom, I already know your friend. She's like, she needs this, and it's been so good to me. But I remember that weekend she picked me up because I was so hysterical at the airport. I'm like, yo, I missed my flight, my baby, like what's going like, and I was freaking out. That I remember when she picked me up the next morning, I was still having really bad anxiety, but I was trying to hold it in. And she literally grabbed my hand, put a crystal in it. She goes, put it near your heart now. And I sat there, and it was literally within like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it was not even 5 minutes. It was just like a.
Yeah. Yes.
And I literally looked at her and I go, what the fuck just happened?
Damn.
So I totally like understand what she's saying, where it's like if you, and I think it's also like a self-realization, like you have to know who you are as well too. You can't expect things to change and not know like how you heal or how, you know, what your things are, that you know who you are, that's like, oh wait, I am calm right now. Wait, why am I not freaking out?
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of people too like get crystals confused with not believing in God.
Right.
Common thing that people ask and sometimes become accusative.
I got different customers, man.
And then some people think like, oh, it's witchcraft, you know, brujeria, you know, palo santo and sage, you know, and
that they use in churches.
But, and I just want to point out that sage and palo santo is used in the church.
Right.
Okay? Crystals are also made from God, as God made earth, and mentioned in the Bible
in different.
Well, I mean, I was an altar server for 18 years of my life, and I didn't realize that I knew about incense and like saging before I realized what I knew what it actually was.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, because I used to incense the church. I used to put it together, burn the coals, like
they do this.
Yeah, and I did that for years, and now that I'm older, I look back and I'm like, wow,
I've been about this life.
Yeah, I've been about this life, and I didn't even know it.
They're doing this shit.
What's happened? Well, what's happened is that, as with anyone that's an online troll, and people that are just negative, and then also spiritual narcissists, you know, they have perversed it, and they have thrown in their spiritual narcissism into it. Like a lot of people, for instance, you know, this is very common that it happens.
Yeah.
All the time. When some people, you know, when they, let's say, change their lives and then they want to give their life to God, and then they want to start praying and they want to start going to church, they become very narcissistic, where now everybody's bad. Now everything is bad because they don't know any better just yet. But as you open up your mind, you become a little bit more relaxed about learning about spirituality, and how spirituality doesn't have to be just one thing. You have to be
energy.
Energy is energy, and it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible, and I think that's sometimes what people think, because they'll be like, oh, like, I don't know, are you into brujeria? And I'm like, no, fool, I believe in God. What's up? Like,
right.
Like, no. It doesn't work like that.
Because I always think of that example of like when your mom has that gut intuition, and they, you know, they call it the mom intuition. Well, a mí no me gusta esa amiga. I don't like her. And you're like, nah, I know better. And then like a year later, you're like, I hate her.
Yeah.
Like, I told you. It's like, what do you call it? My mama bruja? No, it's that intuition. It's that intuition. It's the divine. Like there's so much more to it.
It's been manipulated to meet the thoughts of spiritual narcissists. So they're like, you know, oh, well, that's bad, so that's bad. So, you know, you know, God doesn't like that, but like, yet you are like doing the most. And a lot of the people with the Bible quotes in their
bios,
captions,
IGs.
Like, I mean, you know, on baller comments, like, people come for me. I go to their page and they're like, God
heals all. God is my king.
God heal you, boo.
15:12.
Heal you, boo. That's what needs to happen. Okay, and I think that that's what's happened. What it is that people have perversed it. People have completely manipulated it, and they've made like things like crystals seem bad, and like, you know, oh, now you're bad because of this, or like, oh, I turn my life to God, so now everybody's a bad person, and now they become extremely judgmental. But the truth is that God is love. Okay? God is love, period.
And energy is motherfucking energy.
And energy is energy, period. And you cannot deny it. You ever heard that term, energy doesn't lie? No. Like numbers don't lie. That gut feeling, every time we ignore our gut feeling, what happens?
Well, a shit show.
It all goes back.
A shit show, basically.
And hold on. It's not even, and it's not even about certain religions. So I'm going to keep it 1,000 because I'm not going to name people, but there are a couple celebrities I know, especially like 3 in particular. They're probably not watching, but they're from Muslim descent. One's from Jewish descent. One is Catholic. One is pagan. Mm-hmm. All that, and they still shop with me.
Yep.
So it's not even about like, I will never forget this shit. This is like years ago when I used to only do readings. I never had a crystal shop, and I know you still have a show to run, so I'm gonna make it quick. Regular 9 to 5 with some weak ass robot motherfuckers, right? So this one, I was on the phone with somebody, and I was telling them like, I was on my lunch break. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm gonna, you know, let's schedule a reading. You want to do a reading? Thank you for calling. I'll do it with you. I think it was like Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Schedule it, right? And I gave the person the background and kind of how it goes. I'm like, well, sometimes, you know, I'll pick up on certain things from my spirit guides, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay, thanks. Boom, get out the phone. I walk out the lunchroom. I start heading back to where, you know, back to clock in. And this guy overhears me. He's about my age. And he's like a super Bible thumper. I call him Bible thumpers. You know, the ones that are like, you know, the guy from The Simpsons. The next door to what's the name?
The ones that push it down your throat.
Too much. Yeah, it's like, bro, chill. Like, you don't even know the man yet. He didn't even get here yet. So he was like, you know, this is the only thing he said to me. He's like, you know, when you say you're talking to your spirit guides, that's the devil talking to you and tricking you. I said, tricking me into good things as I'm getting good things.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on top of good things and I'm helping people. How is that devilish? Where the devil is happening here? Like,
that's because it's been manipulated.
So it's been manipulated. So it's like, okay, depending on what verse you read, bro, you might get a different opinion. And listen, you ever played a game of telephone?
Right. Everything changes as it goes down the line.
You talked to like 5 fucking people and you went from house to like Oprah. How the fuck is the Bible on point? Can y'all just explain that to me? Thousands of years, everybody's writing. Y'all Corn probably ran this bitch and not Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to get mad, but theoretically speaking.
Right.
It's what's happened is, again, it's been manipulated. It's a lot of Chinese telephone. Yeah. And what it is that there are some people that are just very close-minded, so they're not even willing to like listen or hear it out and stay with their own logic. But the real logic is that
it's me. I'm the
logic.
Right.
You think with logic.
I can't with you, Kay.
Yeah, if we think with logic, you know, it's, you know, people that, you know, again, you know, like crystals do hold the energy. Yeah. Like it's in the Bible, like Palo Santo. Like somebody, like every time I post my Palo Santo and like sage, people will be like, oh, you worship the devil. And I'm like, oh my God,
crazy.
Church, like.
Yeah. I mean, I only asked that because, like I said, when I was going through my crystal phase, I asked somebody and they were like, but like, why do you have to reach out to a crystal or to sage or whatever? Like, why can't you just speak to God? And it low-key had me thinking, I was like, damn, you're right. Why can't I just go directly to the source?
You can pray with your crystals, you know.
But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save this question for somebody who's educated, because as many videos as I can watch and like, you know, search, it's not the same as when you're having a conversation with somebody and they're like, this is what it is, this is that. Right. So I was like, I'm gonna save this question. I'm gonna meet the right person and look at that.
So do you still talk to that person?
Uh-huh.
How are they living their life God-wise?
In a cage. What?
No. How do they live their life? Like what is their, like, you know, are they all deep into the church? Are they
they're not super deep into the church. They're just like, you know, I believe in God. I'm gonna just pray to my God and keep it pushing. Like, why do I need extra accessories when I have the main light and the main source?
Okay, but the way I see it is like, okay, it's like you're going to school, right? You're taking a test.
Yeah.
So everybody takes their test different. Everybody gets prepared for these tests differently. So if you're going through a test, wouldn't you want the extra help or a tutor or a study guide or something that your good luck charm or whatever that may be, that extra tool that gives you that extra like that extra love, like that you're like, you know what, this is like, I could physically feel it in my hands, like okay, like just giving and that's what you're doing at that time. You're giving those crystals that energy, you're releasing and letting that energy go into
it's cool to break free so you're not in a cage. That's why I say in the cage.
I have yet to meet somebody.
So you don't feel like you're in like the same. Some people feel like they're doing the same shit at the same time in this fucking system of just robotics. And there's so I need to break through. Like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. Or
there are very gifted people in this world walking this earth.
And they have
very gifted people like that have dreams of things that happen. Like so
I believe that.
I don't think really people, what it is that there's lack of education. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if somebody educates you on something, then you're like, oh, that makes sense. Because if somebody throws down my throat that, oh, you can only be from this one religion, because I get that a lot, where like, oh, I'm this religion and all the other religions are irrelevant and all y'all shall die. Well, I don't know, but like God doesn't like that. Right. So we have to like remember it's kind of like lack of education,
right?
Yeah, which is why you ask a question and we kind of talk about it because
exactly.
Yeah, in no way, shape, or form is it like better than God or in replace of. It's kind of like a tool, like, you know, Jaylah said, you know, and I have yet to meet somebody that like we have given crystals to and we have shown them how to pray and how to, you know, really meditate. I have one person say, oh, that was not for me. Like,
I would need a whole lesson from y'all.
This is the worst thing that happened to me. I've never had
you
that.
You guys have ruined my day now. I cannot. Meditation has ruined my day.
There are so many birds chirping. I can't.
You know what? I am too peaceful in my house. I don't like it.
Right.
You come over, you might come and steal all the crystals in the living room. I don't know.
So, you know, it's just like lack of education, and we love talking about it, and we like to talk about it, you know, because it's important. Because I love, like, I have friends that are like from so many different religions, and I really enjoy their different views because they're the same.
On a positive side.
Yeah, they're different but the same, but they're also not spiritual narcissists, because spiritual narcissists is a whole different thing.
Wait, come here, Mom, come here.
Before we change the subject, I'm gonna gather all my crystals and then I'm gonna show you what I got. So you could be like, sis, throw that out, recharge that. We put this one.
Hi, Mommy. I wasn't lying. Look, she got the wax machine right in her hand and everything. I got my eyebrows waxed right like 5 minutes before the show because I was not going to Cali looking crazy. Hi, guys.
Mami linda. Esa carita.
Oh, so cute.
Mommy.
So they just got back from Costa Rica. So, you know, I get I get my monthly delivery of orange juice, fresh bread, and pan dulce. So before I went to Cali, I had to get some.
Oh my God.
Spoiled. That's what you are.
I need to have that on my day.
Bueno, before we kick it off, I actually want to play a little game with y'all.
Okay.
It's called This or That.
This or That.
So, Henny or Casamigos?
Casamigos.
Casamigos.
Hey, that's right.
Anything is possible. No, thank you.
Oh no, that's how I have my daughter. I know.
No, thank you.
Bro.
Flashbacks.
Oh, and by the way, for everybody asking with them double shots, it's not a double shot. It's just that we're not promoting nobody who ain't paying us
It's
yet.
water.
So it's water.
Here.
This is a that's now watered down.
Even though it's Terramana Tuesday, so the rock might have my heart a little bit later.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay. All right. Pool or beach?
Beach.
Beach all day.
Beach. Okay. Yoga or gym? Y'all gonna say yoga.
Gym. Gym.
Really?
Gym. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Gym rat.
I'm cool with stretching and shit, but I'd rather lift weights. Like, you know what I mean? I gotta make sure.
Pull up the muscles.
Listen, don't get it twisted with yoga though, because if you're trying to do that that crow pose, you know, there's a lot of weight on this body. So that I'm just saying.
What don't work for big booty girls that are curvy like us.
Yeah, our backs be off and shit.
The curviness don't work with yoga. It'd be like blah 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 everywhere.
That's not true because I love me some yoga, and I actually want to start
yoga.
practicing more. Only because I want to be able. I want to do a handstand. I want to master that. I'm not flexible, so for me, I'm just like, let's do this.
Oh, that's good then.
But I'm super clumsy, which is the funny part. So it's like I'm flexible, but I'm really clumsy. Like I fall. Every time I've ever fallen has been sober and in sneakers. Never in heels, never drunk. Sober in sneakers.
She tripped.
I tripped on that thing that was on the floor.
You tripped on nothing. None. I was like, what happened, man?
Oh, you know what? That's why I don't like slides. I was wearing slides. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Here. She clumsy.
I'm clumsy too.
Okay. Romantic date or adventurous date?
Adventures.
We be like, we're crazy.
Text or call? Text or call?
Let's just go. Bug it.
What was that?
Text or call?
Call.
Yeah. Okay. I see ya.
We like real interactions and things that are grounding. You know, I think technology has gotten so crazy now that it's like, I don't know.
There's like no anymore. It's like fucking. I want to see your fucking face if I'm calling.
Yeah.
No.
Just called me FaceTime and I'm looking busted in the bed, half asleep.
Yeah,
but I don't care.
Let's chit
real
chat.
friends. We don't get dressed up for it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
That's true.
But again, I think it also has to do with that energy. I think people, especially through text and calls nowadays, people misconstrue tones.
Yeah.
I think that when you FaceTime somebody, you're seeing it, you're feeling it directly.
Correct.
So
and
it's like
feel energy text.
FaceTime all day. That's what we do. So this is a perfect way to transition for what we didn't get to do last week, and we don't have much time. I need love advice. This is obviously called For the Love of Jaylah. So Craze has a little video that we're going to play.
Okay.
Because I got some love advice in the streets of New York City.
Oh,
so you know.
I don't know. Let's see what our people's got to say.
So I got advice from the East Coast. Now we got
New York
from
City.
The West Coast. Go ahead, Craze. Play it.
Okay.
In Harlem right now, and I am on my quest looking for love. Hence the name For the Love of Jaylah. Look, she got her Bronx card. This is the alderman of the Bronx.
VX is in the building.
Found this beautiful woman in the streets of New York City, looking gorgeous.
Thank you. Body in the building.
Yes, Body Dominicana. Okay. Toria is with us, and let's be real. Tell me what's going on nowadays in these streets.
This is bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Did it get worse after COVID, or do you think it just like?
Yeah, the expectations went super low. Like nobody want to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody cheat.
Oh boy.
Like it's hard. I ain't gonna front. It's hard. Some real Bronx shit, you heard? But here's what I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
We just gotta be real, and people don't get that. They really just run with their representative, which is cute for like 5 minutes. But a nigga trying to know somebody real. So just be yourself, because you're dope, amazing. And if they vibe with it, they with it. And if they don't, peace out. You get that?
Right.
Put down one finger.
Zero time. All right, so now we got some questions.
All right.
Gigi,
So quick questions for you, girl.
I'm ready.
All right,
your
answer.
instinct. We want the real.
STD test or COVID test? Which one is
STD
required?
test. You see me out without a mask.
Are you getting your STD test happening before, you know, getting intimate with somebody? Is that a requirement?
Yes. I'm gonna say yes because that is a requirement because shit is crazy out this motherfucker. You get that? And you know, you can inspect the dick before. Is that too much? Okay.
No,
You can
That's
inspect the
never
dick
enough.
before you know.
How would
before
you
get
inspect the
there.
dick?
You know, you gotta look at it, bumps and pinkness, and that's telltale signs.
But you know what? You went through one toxic relationship, or hopefully it wasn't.
I've had
But
plenty.
you learned what you don't want and what you're not gonna accept in the next relationship. Like there's, if I already see a glimpse, I job.
Intimacy, realness, just being completely open with somebody and actually enjoying it. Like not letting them be the reason of your happiness, understanding that you're happy and they're just adding to it.
Yeah.
You get it? I love it.
Henny or 1942?
Henny.
Hey.
Anything's possible,
Dark
right,
waters,
Jaquan?
dark waters.
Anything is possible.
Let's
like
go.
dark waters.
Are we back on? Yeah, my mic's back on. Can y'all hear me?
I think we're back on, yeah.
I love the girls. They're funny.
So obviously you see what I got told in New York.
Listen, I keep hearing that from so many different people who are currently like, just, I don't like, it's not really, for one, it's not easy to date during COVID. There's so many factors that matter now. And then there's also so many factors that are like no one's asking about, you know what I mean? Like, and before it was the lady that was like, it was bad out here. Like that's all I keep hearing from like even my guy friends.
Yeah.
I have male friends that are actually like, give me faith that there's still some really nice guys out there left on this planet. Okay. And they're really good dudes and they're finding it very difficult because the standards are low. But I also think that we're going through like this like massive reset, and a lot of people are going through, you know, different emotions. Being at home, depression, you know, uncertainty, my job, I don't have a job anymore, people that were going to school. So I think a lot of that pressure is causing people to, you know, go through trauma. And so it's difficult. I think one of the most important questions to start asking actually from the beginning is that, are there any, you know, have you worked on your mental health? Are you currently working on your mental health? Are there things that you haven't healed from?
Or unfinished business.
Yeah, unfinished healing that you're working on, because you can't go past that.
I think it's hard though. I think it's really hard because I think women are more in that space to be like, listen, this is what I deal with, this is what I go through, this is what I'm working towards. And I feel like men get very, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little.
Hold on, let me.
Now we can't hear you at all.
Now how about now?
Yeah. But now we're echoing.
Girl, put it back on. I can hear you.
That's okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Shout out to everybody that's tuned in on the comments, though, guys, because there's
yeah, for real. Shout out to everybody watching.
We love y'all.
We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead.
Yes. But I do want to say this in all fairness, only because I have a sensitive brother who has always been told to man up and not talk about his mental health and his feelings. So I think that now that I see what I'm seeing now with other men, even with my ex, you know, like with my daughter's father, we have to have, like, I have to sit him down sometimes and we need to, like, hey, it's okay, but I'd rather you open up to me instead of lashing out on me. Stop lashing out and stop, because you're frustrated or angry or whatever. It's okay for you to tell me what you're feeling, whether I like it or not, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
There's a way to have this conversation and be like, yo, this upsets me, but I feel like our men do not get enough credit to be able to do that, which brings all of us down, because the men not doing that also brings it down on us women becoming cold or becoming guarded or becoming angry or frustrated. So it's like we're doing one of these to each other.
Yes. I think
I wanted to
go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm pretty sure you're going to say the same thing.
I want to talk about men real quick, because out of the thousands of readings I've ever had, I'm going to tell you, I've probably read 4 men, straight men. 4 straight men. Not that that matters, but you know. But
it makes a difference in a flexibility of being able to be at a certain level of things.
Yeah. Every man, I'm going to be honest, every man kind of had the same issue. And the number one thing was, like you said, whether they're, no matter what the race is, they're all taught to just suck it up, deal with it, be the man in the house, make the money, be this, be that. And then I literally had one guy, and I told him, and I'll never forget this shit, because he cried on the phone. I had a phone reading with him, and I was like, you know that you can let it out somewhere. Whether you write a journal, whether you draw a picture, you gotta let it out.
Right.
Just like a soda bottle. If I keep shaking a fucking bottle of Coke, even though I don't drink that shit, and I fucking open it, it's going everywhere.
Load, yeah.
That's the same thing with your mental, and the same thing for empaths, because it's even worse. You're a sponge. So imagine you just keep putting sponge in water all day. You got to squeeze it out, and you got to put something else in there. You know what I mean? You can't just keep.
It's also generational parenting as well.
Yes.
Generational trauma that continues to trickle down.
Yeah.
And, you know, with mothers being enablers to their sons.
Yeah.
And then there's
say that too. Enable.
And also women too. Okay.
Oh, you got a girl pregnant? That's no problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck you up. It's
and
like,
then
what?
The fathers,
you know,
it's like the fathers, like, oh, don't cry. You're crying like a girl. Stop crying. Stop with the feelings. Like, that's the problem. Like, it's
sad.
And it just comes down to generational family trauma, because
that's why men commit more suicide.
They keep, doing this instead of like letting your sons and daughters have feelings, express, talk about it. And for some reason, these generations, it's old school, mainly old school, that they tell them, oh, you gotta be a man, and like, God, don't talk about it. Like, they teach them to be players, and the moms enable their sons. Like, that is all something that unfortunately is still happening. But if you're one of the people to break that with your children, kudos to you, because we need more strong men. Like, every straight girl I know has the most horrendous stories, and I've got a couple too, of men. Men be like, oh, girls just like girls now. I'm not talking about lesbians. I'm talking about like how guys try to use that excuse. Well, the reason why probably is because y'all not coming through. Man.
No, honestly, I think I know more girls that know, like, and I know it sounds real stupid, but like for me, like, I come from an old school thing where I love all of, like, to me, it's a turn on when you could take care of things in your home, put up a picture frame, do a garden, fix a pipe, change a toilet seat. Like simple. And I feel like women do it more now by themselves because we feel we have to, because men don't even know how to do it. Everybody's like, yo, I'm gonna call the super.
Like, no,
you're right.
And that's comes down to the generational family trauma and teachings and how they raise their children. And it's true, because most of my straight girls are always constantly complaining about the same thing. So women are complaining that there's no chivalry, right? And that men, ain't, shit. And that, that's why they on their city girl shit. And then men talk shit about women, saying like, oh, girls are gold diggers. No, by nature, women are more expensive.
Facts.
Okay?
about it.
Facts.
I have a question though.
Lash extensions, hair, nails, body, like clothes.
Women wouldn't have to be saying this if y'all were being like chivalrous. Men, women are don't want, all women don't want to be city girls. I know when we be like laughing, like, yeah, girl, you know, but you know what? Y'all make girls be like, you know what? Just give me a bag because I don't even want to hear you.
And that whole life is hard. So
I mean, it's what's happened.
Just saying.
No, but it's
in my head, like, yeah.
I hate you, Kay. Kay's like, that whole life is hard.
No, but I have a question for you guys.
Oh, biggest hoe on the block right here.
Fuck
Used to
you.
be.
So what's your question, Gigi?
I have a question because Jayla is also into women and has dated women. Do you guys feel like women understand women better?
1,000%.
Just like you understand all your girls. We understand each other.
1,000%. Wow.
Because I'm trying to see, like, where...
You guys are horrible.
See, a woman, we all understand each other. You don't have to be attracted to a woman to know that. But women, we all get it. Like,
you're saying on a romantic level.
On a romantic level, you understand each other better. Like, I'll tell you this.
And
like,
you're not considered emotional or erratic because we're just...
The other woman is going through the same thing, too.
Yeah, we have heightened... frequencies more than men. We have nurturing frequencies. So if we're picking up off each other, you know, of course we're gonna react higher and quicker because we are very similar in frequency.
Like men will be like, "Oh, you too emotional." Nah, bro.
Oh, you calling me too much?
Speaking my feelings is not being emotional. It's called asking for some accountability and clarity.
Yeah.
Right.
How about you give me some clarity on what I'm asking you? Why don't you listen instead of listening to react? How about you listen and listen to my feelings, you know? And I think that that's what's really going on. And it's also going on in the gay community because I have had some nightmare relationships as well with a woman. And I will have to say that what I will say as opposed to like men, women are easier to understand. So
you're petty. Leave Somaya alone. Yeah, petty.
Even if that wasn't working, can you close the door? My gardener's here.
Our gardener is very loud.
So with women, it is easier to understand like how we're feeling. Now, there are some women that ain't shit too, you know.
Of course.
Happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people. I mean, we've all been there. We might have been one of those too at one point. You feel me? But at this point right now, I feel that people, if you're like, don't date if you're not ready to date. Because another thing too that we didn't talk about last week is that they always say that relationships are hard. They're actually not.
Right. We make it hard.
Our expectations make it hard.
Communicate.
Guys, I'm sitting on a cushion because I'm short.
Put it on the table.
Just go ahead.
Put it all on the table. You understand what I'm saying? Because I often hear this all the time. And my biggest advice after being someone that has healed, that has been both ends of trauma, you know, dating a narcissist, like a sociopath narcissist type, which is the most traumatizing experience of my life. But what I learned is that the only way a relationship is a relationship that was hard. When people say, "Oh, relationships are hard, you got to work at them," no, they're not hard. Actually, you do have to work on them if you care, because there should always be this communication. But it's not, because I'll just give you an example. I'm not saying me and my partner are perfect, but we really get along because we talk, we communicate. It's not even effort. Like, I would have to say that we probably spend most of our time communicating versus, you know, like if she's having a bad day or whatever, you know, I have to remind her like, yo, like, breathe.
Okay.
Talk about how you feel.
Yeah.
And then she'll have to sit back and be like, yeah, let's talk. But and it's usually not towards me. It's something that's happened, let's say outside, but relationships are not hard. I don't care what anyone says. They are not hard. They do not have to be hard. Communication comes into play. If you have delusional expectations or any expectations, it's going to go south.
Amen. I think that's at least from my divorce, that's what I feel like I learned for myself, which is like, it's throwing those expectations, like living in the moment and communicating rather than having expectations, because your expectations are different from my expectations. The way you were raised is different from where I was raised. So when we're putting all of that into one pot, it's like putting everybody else's trauma and worrying about everybody else other than just doing like the direct, like I'm not a mind reader. I can't read what's going on, what your feelings are, or like what you're going. Even if it's simple, and I always say this, like, hey, today's a bad day for me. I need space. This is why I'm not texting you back. It's not because I died. It's not because I got a car accident. It's not because I'm mad at you. It's not because I'm fucking another girl. It's because at this very point, I'm having a shitty ass day.
Yes.
I need space because if not, it's going to be an issue with us and it's going to be worse.
Yes.
And that simple little sentence, that simple little communication just changed the whole narrative of everything.
Correct. True. Yeah, communication is important. And I say that, like, again, you know, don't date unless you're really ready. And like, it took me a long time in a lot of relationships and a whole lot of trauma to understand that if it starts to become difficult to a point that you know in your heart if this going to work or not. A lot of times we'll be like, oh, you know, falling in love with expectation is a disaster.
Whole disaster.
100%.
Falling in love with expectation is a disaster. And it shouldn't be that way. But we all have to live and learn. And I'm grateful. You know, if I hadn't gone through those things, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I also wouldn't be more like, okay, I'm going to communicate more in my relationship. I'm going to make sure I'm not bringing any trauma to this relationship. I'm not going to start a new relationship if I'm still bringing in the old. There's just so many factors, and it is important. But relationships do not have to be hard.
Right.
All you need to do is communicate.
I want to add one more thing. I know we have like no time left. Very important. Do not bring your problems into the relationship. So when I mean that is because, you know, long story short, if you have like car problems, house problems, money problems, don't think that your shit, your other half is going to handle for you.
Right.
You know, so the number one thing that people around my life like changed on me, you know, friends, family, they thought I was rich because I'm with her. I had to hold on, you know, and she'll sit there. We'll go out to dinner and she'll be like, and I'm like, I got it.
Right.
Are you sure? Like, and I'm like, I got it. You know, I like to keep it even in a comfortable setting, and you have to do the same thing. Don't go past your limit. Whether it's mental, physical, monetary, don't go past your limit. Don't do the most trying to prove yourself to anybody. Just be yourself. Be yourself to the point where if you can fart in front of your partner and you guys are laughing at how it sounded, you know you found the right person. I'm not saying that like
it'd be fart war in this house.
We do. We'd be like, yeah, that was a 10 or whatever. But, you know, long story short, like you cannot be their best friend before anything, before sex, before anything.
Best friends first.
It's irrelevant.
I love that.
I think officially we could totally do a third part, but I think at this point we're gonna have to get to the Golden Girls together, and we might have to do like a monthly healing, like maybe like a clubhouse session where we can talk as long as we want. We'll pick a day. And we could do more of these sessions, have real conversations, have people, you know, invite an audience so they can talk to us as well.
Absolutely.
The Rick H show is starting in less than a minute. I wanted to say thank you guys so much for being on here.
Having us.
We're going to go have our group chat because I get to Cali tomorrow. So
yes.
So yeah, let me know. Maybe we're going to see each other because I need some crystals. Thanks, Kay. I'm gonna come sleep in the owl house. All right, I'm scared of birds and everything, but I'll sleep in the owl house.
And I do want to say to all of our viewers, we do have a special announcement that we're going to be dropping on Friday. So everybody stay tuned. Make sure you guys are following us. And it's so dope. I'm so hyped for it. So I can't wait for you guys to find out.
Thank you guys for being on the Love of Jaylah. Okay, Somaya, love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
EX Craze, thank you so much. Boogie, love you guys. Next.
Let the world around us fade. We could love like this forever. Let the rest go down in flames. And if the stars fall from the skies, the sun goes dark to endless night. Stay in my arms, I'll make it right. Just close your eyes. Yeah, we got tonight.